Okay, so I'm back again. Flat, depleted, hungry. Actually, no, I'm not hungry. I haven't eaten, but I'm never hungry. One thing about me, I will say is, hopefully the mic is okay. You can hear me. Place it down a little bit today. One thing about me, guys, I'm never ever hungry. I could go without food for weeks. For months, I could go without food. I haven't really done that before. I'd like to try it one day. Definitely not right now. Now is not the time frame. Now is not the mind frame to do that kind of stuff. So I will one day try it, but I know I'll lose muscle. Obviously the muscle tone will go down, but who knows? Anyway, point is, I ain't ever hungry. Never. So I'm training back. I've done a few warm-up sets. Let me turn these heaters off. Yes, I have heaters in here because it's really cold. So I don't have a lat pull down, so I just kind of squat, and the load of this, it says 90 kilogram, but I don't believe it's 90 kilogram. Actually, it might be, will it? Yeah, it probably is. Around about. So this is my version of a lat pull down. So as you guys know, I do back or pull-ups, I should say, every single morning. I eat pull-ups for breakfast. But when I'm training back, because I do pull-ups all the time, I like to change it. I change it around a little bit. Just thought, I've got a different grip. This is supinated grip. Supinated? Anyway, it's a neutral grip, yeah? So I have this neutral grip bar, and I like to use this. Does it feel the lat a little bit different? I don't know. I don't really buy into these intricate details until you are a professional, big bodybuilder. Even someone my size, I'm definitely not professional. I'm definitely not big, but I'm bigger than the average dude out there. I'm definitely leaner than the average dude, but that doesn't say anything about me. Remember that. Just because I'm leaner and bigger than the average guy, that doesn't say anything about me. That says a lot about everybody else. They have let the standards drop. They have let the standards drop. So you can tell I've got no food in me. They have let the standards drop, not me. I've just maintained standard. I am just not even peak condition. I am just normal condition as humans were meant to be. I am that guy. I am that shape. That is it, okay? Everybody else out there, if you're above 10% body fat, you're the issue, not me. I ain't the issue keeping their standards high. This is normal standard. Normal guys. Nothing special, guys. People say genetics, this, that. I don't give a shit, bro. Call it what you want. But 25 years in this game, the knowledge I have in this game, the experience I have in this game, the work I've put into this game, is that genetics really? Is it really genetics after 25 years? Yeah. Anyway, now we've got the brag out of the way. Let's go for 2 more sets on this. So I thought, rather than me talking randomness whilst I'm training, I'm going to talk about a particular topic. And today's topic is pre-workout. I've got a lot of questions recently about pre-workout. What do I take for pre-workout? How are you able to train? What do you do in the morning? How do you get up? Do you take caffeine? Are you never tired? All this kind of bullshit. And the answer to the question is actually, let me just get this. I've been waiting on this phone call. Let me get this call. I was talking about creatine, and not creatine, that's for next week. Pre-workout. Now, people always say to me, Fadi, you train. I train like a powerlifter as well, so I'm not like I'm training light with light weights. I'm not training, you know, pump reps. I'm not doing supersets. I'm not doing any of that garbage that you guys think that is beneficial or cuts fat or burns fat or builds muscle, whatever. I wouldn't say old school. I do what's effective and I do what's right and I do what's correct. And I always use the best system going forward. So I analyze everything. I've tried every single workout there is out there. And I think, okay, this is the best thing to do right now. That's what I'm going to do. And in order to do anything, you need to be switched on. You need to be alert. You need to be ready for it. You need to go, you know, get a bit pumped up. So there's this thing called pre-workout. Now, pre-workouts are all based around this chemical called creatine. No, you know I'm fasting today, guys. This has been a hard one today, but I'm not hungry. But it's a chemical called caffeine. That's what they're based around. Then additionally to that, at start they added all sorts of illegal substances. Jack 3D, if you know what I'm talking about, they got banned. Then they had beta-alanine, arginine, taurine, leucine, all these amino acids and everything else. And it's just a big concoction of shit, basically. Then on top of that, some guy says, well, I'm going to make my pre-workout and it's going to be 350 milligrams of caffeine, 400 milligrams of caffeine, 500 milligrams of caffeine. And then everyone's making it to different names. And I'm going to name mine the top G. I'm going to name mine the top dickhead. I'm going to name mine the top dog. And I'm going to name mine the top bollocks or whatever. You guys have seen it. You know what I'm talking about, yeah? I went the other day to a gym actually, and I saw one that was called the Top G. Now again, I'll just get this. So Ramadan's coming to an end and there's a lot of calls going on at the minute right now. Where you opening your fast, what time you're eating, that's what that call was about. Right, so there's a lot of these pre-workouts and the base of these pre-workouts is caffeine. That's the main substance that makes you alert, that keeps you awake and ready to go. Now let me do a set and we will continue. Now, if you have a low garage like me, make sure you wear a cap so you can hit that before it hits your head. Okay, so caffeine is the main substance in there. Now, is caffeine good? Is it beneficial? Here's how I work out a lot of my shit. If you overdose on caffeine, you can die. I actually knew early on, really early on, there was a lad, a few guys actually, they were at college, a different college to me, but the same kind of college, if you know what I mean. If you go to colleges, they're very linked. There's always one college and then there's a link through it. Well, it was in Sheffield anyway. So, and they were doing research on caffeine. They were taking 600 milligrams, 800 milligrams, 1,000, 12, 16. They actually got to 1,600 per day. This kid had a heart attack, ended up in hospital through this experiment, which they thought was safe. And the reason why they thought it was safe is because, well, it's so readily available. Caffeine's everywhere. You get a cup of coffee, caffeine. Tea, caffeine. Starbucks, caffeine. Costa, caffeine. Pre-workouts, caffeine. Everything contains caffeine. It's illegal. Yet if you overdose on caffeine, you will end up in hospital. Crazy, I know. Alcohol is another thing. Alcohol is so readily available to everybody and it's legal. So legal and right and good for you do not come under the same umbrella. Remember that, yeah? Just because something's illegal, like steroids, doesn't necessarily mean it's bad for you. Now, we can all use that argument and say, well, hang on a minute, let's overdose on steroids, okay? So average cup of coffee or average can of Red Bull contains around about, or Monster, 200 milligrams of caffeine. Okay, let's just say that. Now, let's 10 times that. Gives it 2,000 milligrams of caffeine. Try it, you'll be in hospital. Okay, you'll be ill, you'll be in hospital. You cannot do that for too long or at all. Now let's take that with steroids. Average dose, 250 milligrams of steroids. Let's take 10 times that 2,500 milligrams of steroids. Guess what will happen? You'll be very sick, you'll be very ill, but guess what? You won't end up in hospital. You will not die. Now, I'm not saying steroids are safer than caffeine. I'm just saying this is illegal. This isn't. That's the point I'm saying. So, illegal, legal, bullshit. Who cares? I'm buying into that kind of shit, okay? I know this lad from a very young age, and at the time I was around about 18. And I thought, shit, this is what caffeine did to him. And I'd seen this guy, and he got very severely ill. He was in hospital, palpitations and all that shit. Anyway, what do you think that did to me at that age? Completely put me off caffeine. And those days I remember, I didn't like coffee, I didn't like drinking coffee. Tea was only there to dip biscuits. And I used to get caffeine tablets. You could buy them from My Protein. They were caffeine tablets. They were around about 50 or 100 milligram of caffeine. And you take one of those, pre-workout. That was it. Then came pre-workouts wasn't around at that point. There was this thing called LA Muscle. You should drop it on your tongue, but it just contained, what was the substance that contained? It was L-carnitine and creatine. I think that was the only two things. Pre-workouts were not a thing. There was a couple of things in the magazine, Cell Tech, Muscle Tech, all this shit, but it wasn't actually pre-workout. Then came Jack 3D a couple of years later, around 2010, 9, around that time. Jack 3D was the big buzz. And then everybody got introduced to this market or this world of pre-workout. And then nobody could ever train without it. All of a sudden, everybody is tired. Everybody is lethargic. Everybody is, I don't feel the pump. Everybody's, oh, I can't go to the gym today. I need a pre-workout. We're going to the gym. Let's take some pre-workout. All of a sudden, everybody is now dependent on pre-workout. And it's insane that before that, what kind of workouts were people doing? So what happened? A couple of years later, I think, you know what? Go on, let me go and let me take some. Let me take some again. And it was Jack 3D. Took it, palpitations. Nah, and he took half a scoop as well. Nah, forget this one. Ain't gonna take it. Then another one came out about 6 months later, this new one. This is still the previous formula, by the way. There's still the old school formula, you know, the one where that girl died and she did the marathon and all that shit. You guys must have heard the story. And if you don't, I don't know, go Google it. Right. Took the second one, I think it was called Craze. For those people who remember back in the days, used to mix it, had this purpley kind of look to it, like a magical potion. Same again on the floor, palpitation. I'm thinking caffeine is just not for me. Pre-workouts are just not for me. Did I, going through life, ever have a shit workout? Of course. Of course, many shit workouts. Did I compete? Yes. With over 50 people. More than 50 people I've beat in competition. On a bodybuilding stage. Hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, on a powerlifting platform. What does that say? What, could I have been better if I'd taken pre-workout and caffeine? No. I didn't need it, never needed it, and I just never relied on something to give me a wake-up call. I always thought, if I'm going to be alert and something's going to happen, it's going to be me. And let my body dictate what kind of workout I'm going to do. Let my mind dictate what kind of workout I'm going to do. And I'll tell you another thing as well. I put this down, another reason why I'm injury-free or have been injury-free, so over 25 years, is because when I'm going to go for a shit workout, or when I'm going to go for a workout I feel shit, the workout's going to be shit. It's going to be a shit workout. I'm going to listen to my body. My body's going to tell me exactly what to do, where to push, how not to push, and what to do. Now, maybe this is not true. Maybe this is just, you know, entertain me here for a second. Entertain me. Let's say you take the pre-workout. You took the pre-workout. You were supposed to have a shit workout, but you ended up having a workout that caused injury because your body and your mind just was not in sync. Maybe that's the cause of some injuries, maybe. I don't know. Go fact check it somewhere. I don't know. I think that's the case. Anyway. For those people who are like, oh, he only does 5 pull-ups, I thought I'll just show you a couple of more resting ones as well, hanging ones as well. You know, I do pull-ups every day. They're very easy to do. I don't try to think too much into pull-ups. I like to do 5 because I don't get fatigued. That's why I like to only do 5 pull-ups and no more than that. So I'm nicely warmed up now. Is the mic on? Yeah, I think so. I'm going to now go over to the deadlift and we'll continue the discussion. My favorite exercise, but I'm actually hating it right now because my ass, my glutes are so tight. Anyway, we got to keep pushing. I'm going to go heavy, just routine, just through the motion. Okay, so where was we? Pre-workout. Yeah, pre-workout. Let's get back on this pre-workout thing. So, as you know, I don't just chat. In fact, let me sit down here. Let me sit down. In fact, let me put a plate on first. Let's put some plate on first, right? So what I was going to say is, I don't just talk shit saying, I don't take pre-workouts. You shouldn't take pre-workouts. They're not good. You know, and the truth is, yeah, they're not good. And I'm very, you know, I don't sit on the fence. I mean what I say, and I stick to it. You ain't gonna get me changing my opinion very often, unless I'm presented with some good, hard, solid facts. Now, let's get talking. So, of course, as always, I'm gonna prevent you guys with the solution. I look very red. Why is it so red? Anyway, I'm going to present you with a solution. And the solution is this. Look, I'm not going to go heavy today, so it's exactly what I'm saying the solution is. Stay hydrated. One of the best pre-workouts. And I don't mean pre-workout, pink Himalayan salt. I mean continuously. Throughout the day, you should be drinking some sort of liquid that has water inside it. That's 99% made up of water. But that 1% has to be made up of something. Like pink Himalayan salt, like some honey, like some electrolytes, like some sort of sugar. Something has to be in there for your body to absorb it better. Because water ain't gonna cut it, guys. That's the reality. Water itself just isn't enough. So if you stay hydrated, then you can be strong. Then your workouts are going to be effective if you have the right nutrition plan. And when I say nutrition plan, this is why I don't agree with this thing where people say, I am now training legs, I'm training back, so therefore on that particular day, I'm going to have a extra bit of carbs, a high day. A lot of my clients, if you're one of my clients, you'll know what the low and high day means. People will say to me, Fadi, well, I'm training legs on a Thursday. What about high days on a Wednesday? Should I change the high day to it's a leg day? No. And here's why. Here's why, okay? Because with the right nutrition, your body is going to pick and choose when it needs to fire. If you were only eating carbs pre-workout, the idea would be that that workout would be the most effective than any other workout, but that's not the case. How many times, guys, have you out there, myself included, when we're doing the low day, we have a great workout, unbelievable workout. Like, let's say the low day is, for me, is a Saturday. Saturday is the lowest of the low day because it's been 3 days since a high day. I have the best workout ever. Whatever that, even if it's squats or deadlift, it don't matter. I'm strong, I'm active, everything went to plan, perfect. Also, it can happen where I can have a carbohydrate day, a high day with eating loads of carbs and be thinking, nah, I feel too sluggish. Haven't got that get up and go, I feel too tired, I feel too lethargic. But it's also happened the opposite as well. On the low day, you can feel shit, and on a high day, you can feel amazing. You can have loads of carbs and be like, wow, I'm so glad I had those carbohydrates today. Therefore, the workout has been, 10x. So the point is, your body will dictate because there's a lot of processing that takes place. And the number one thing, let's take out all the other things first and let's list them. So sleep, nutrition, training program, what you did the week before, what you did the day before, fatigue, all that shit it does play some sort of factor. It 100% does. But above all that, above every single thing else, the key player, the big dog in town, is this, right between your eyes, right here, this thing. That is the key. I'll give you a great example. How many times have you guys had shit sleep? You had a powerlifting day the next morning, so it was a powerlifting meet or a bodybuilding show, whatever it was the next day. You had the worst sleep imaginable because you was anxious, you was ready to go. Woke up in the morning, strongest ever. Absolutely smashed it. Or you had the best sleep ever, and guess what? You feel like you overslept. You feel like that drive is gone. You're just not ready to go. Which tells us what? The key player, the main player in town is where? Right here, between your eyes. So that wasn't a cop-out answer. The answer to that is, what do you got to do? What have you got to give the most nutrition to? And I don't mean nutrition just in bits of food. I mean nutrition in terms of like sleep, reading a book, an audio book, having the right mindset for the right workout. You've got to build that environment. You've got to build that whetstone. Make sure the whetstone is perfect. Right, 100 kg now. This is going to be heavy. My ass is so fried. No homo. Yeah. My ass is really fried right now. I don't know. I did some, well, I do know exactly what it is. I did some, what do you call it? Hip thrusts. Did some hip thrusts the other day, and my ass is still sore from it. Lower back tight, ass is sore, recovery's not there, nutrition isn't obviously 10-10 right now, but we keep moving forward. So I'm gonna go 140 just because I'm an idiot. Let's do it. Oh, I can't even bend over. Can't even bend over. But I'm gonna do a workout. Crazy. If this was a client, I'd be like, call it a day, bro. Call it a day. And you know another thing as well in the UK? They're so shit. I never understand this shit. Daylight saving hours. Who gives a fuck about daylight saving hours? Just keep it the same as every other country, guys. Keep it the same as everyone. Look now, it's like 6:50 now. You know, technically, hour-wise, fast should be open. But no, we keep pushing. We keep pushing. It's still daylight. Still, I don't know if you guys can see. Can you see in the window there? I don't know. Still daylight. Still daylight. A few more hours. Well, 1 more hour to go. So I think I'm going to do maybe 3 sets on this weight. But yeah, let's just fully exhaust this discussion after this set of maybe 5 repetitions. Oh, my body is all over the place there, like completely out of whack. I'm trying to pick up the bar without straightening out too much because my ass is completely fatigued, my glutes are completely fatigued, so I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to be an idiot. I'm going to leave it there because I definitely don't want to get injured. So we'll do some T-bar rows. But we're back again, so I'm up to set number 3. I've warmed up on this. This is going to be my last. Actually, I might do 2 more sets. Let's just do a set and then we'll continue the discussion about pre-workouts. I think I'm in. Yeah, I'm in. You can see me. Okay, this is heavy now. I'm fucking cold. Put the mic on a little bit too low. Let's put that a little bit higher. Okay. A quick note. If you've never seen me do this exercise before, this is the dead stop T-bar row. And there is one thing that you should know about this exercise that, for me anyway, If you want to gauge your 1 rep max on deadlift, whatever you can do 8 reps on with this is generally how many plates you can put on per side on the deadlift. So when I know, like, I'm tired today, I do 8 reps on that, I can do 1 rep on a 180 deadlift. I could probably do more than that, but you get what I'm trying to say. It's generally how I gauge it. So if I was to really push myself today, I'd probably get 6 reps, so 6 plates on this for 8 reps, and then that would equate to a 260 deadlift, which is kind of where I am. If I was to, if my life depended on it, someone put a gun to my head, that's what would happen. So one thing that I've noticed is when you're fasting, when you're dehydrated, recovery takes time, which is why it is also the reason I say to people, train slow. Well, fast with the workout, so the reps and sets are fast, but the rest is dragged out. Take your time, breathe, let your body fully recover. Don't do supersets, don't do drop sets, don't do forced reps, don't do extra reps. Just don't push yourself or exert yourself in any shape or form. This is very easy for me. I'm at like 50%, pushing at 50%. Yes, I'm getting out of breath, but still, I'm still pushing at 50%. Well, I could not do double that amount, but you get what I'm trying to say. So yeah, pre-workouts. So what did we go over? Let's just backtrack a little bit. It's mainly caffeine. There's other shit in there. Some could be stim-free, but in the stim-free, they use some other shit to get you tingling, which is garbage anyway. Heart palpitations, all the rest of it. You don't need it. They should be illegal, not steroids. Do they mess with your system in any way? Not really. They might mess with your brain signal. That's the main thing that I would say they mess with. Because the main thing when it comes to training is about being switched on here, being alert up here. If you can control your mind at all times, everything else is secondary. Every single thing else is secondary if you can control your mind. It's all about controlling your mind, nothing else, because that is the most powerful tool. And this might have relevance and it might not. I'm going to tell you a little story. You've probably seen the animation of it or the picture of it. There's 2 guys on the deathbed. One guy can sit up and the other guy can't. He's laid down and he's on his deathbed. This dude's on his deathbed as well. And he's in agony, he's in pain. And his only, bit for the day is when the other guy sits up and looks out the window and says, oh, it's green grass, the sun's out, the kids are playing, there's someone taking the dog for the walk, someone's playing frisbee, the flowers are growing, this is the season, that's the season, all this kind of shit. And this guy gets a little bit of solace from that, such a nice feeling. Anyway, eventually this dude dies, the guy who can sit up dies, and then they move the bed along. And when the bed moves along and he looks up and he says, there's nothing here. It was all in his imagination. And the point I'm trying to say is the mind is a powerful tool. I know there's more to it than that story and I probably have butchered it a little bit, but the idea is for me when I hear that is, the mind's a very powerful thing. You can keep it alive. I'm not saying we're on our deathbeds. We shouldn't be on our deathbeds, certainly not if you're watching me. But you have to be functioning up here. Do not rely on outside circumstances on what goes on in this time, this me time. This is your time to grow, to progress. So when you're in the gym, this is not just about, obviously I'm recording right now, so I'm trying to help you guys out because the gym for me it's a second nature, It's not something that I'm like, oh, I got an hour, better get to the gym, got back. But for you guys, it probably is. So for you people, listen to a motivational podcast, listen to an audiobook. If you want soothing music, listen to soothing music. I don't advise it, but if you want to do that, do it. It's your time. Don't listen to nobody, it's your time. When you go to the gym, that's your meditation. That is your solace. That is your place away from this world. That is the place to sharpen the blade. That is a place to build the armor, That is a place to, and these are metaphors, obviously, Sharpen the blade is the mind, the body, the soul, the spirit. Building the armor is the defenses around you, for you, your family, making sure you're a strong individual, you're a strong being. You can go out there and take on anything that the world is presenting, anything that the world is throwing at you. And at the minute, there's a hell of a lot that the world is throwing at every single one of us, you, me, and every single person we see. So another thing as well, I just want to say this as well. Out there, you've got to be kind to people because people are going through a hell of a lot. Now, personally, yeah, I would say who gives a shit? Who gives a shit, bro? Everyone's on their own path, but that doesn't mean to be disrespectful to other people, even though you can get yours. And you know, the world, there's an abundance of everything, apart from oil. And that, no, there is. There's an abundance of everything. I'm only joking. There's an abundance for every single thing out there. Nothing is scarce. Nothing is that scarce. But ultimately, we shouldn't be chasing things. We shouldn't be after things. We shouldn't be figuring things. It's all here. It is all here. Right, let's go. Last set. And yes, I did buy that chair because it reminded me of WWE, WWF. By the way, does anyone watch wrestling now? I know The Rock is back in it, but I just see it on YouTube every so often. It's pretty cool that he's back. He's still a piece of shit because of, well, I'm not going to say, but I don't really like the guy anymore. But solid for the ratings though, innit? Because everybody loves The Rock. Okay, last set, best set. For those of you who don't live in the UK, you won't understand this. Actually, it's just calmed down. I just pressed record. It's now hail, literally hailstones, or very hard rain now. The hail has just gone. And yes, we are in April right now. Crazy, I know. And for those people in the UK, you know what it is. You know how it is, bro. We call it April showers, and you should know why. So I'm gonna finish off with some biceps. Okay. Now, I know I'm using cables. I don't like cables. I don't normally use cables. I'm being lazy because I only have 5 minutes to hurry my ass out of here. Gonna go out and get some food. So this is it, guys. This is the new format. I'm gonna be training and I'm gonna be picking one topic and discussing the life out of it whilst I train with myself. I might get someone else on board next time. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, that's it. Pre-workouts, you don't need them. Hopefully this gave you some value. Comment down below if you haven't joined the dojo. Get signed up, guys. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Like and please subscribe.